Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I'm here at the Rock Island Auction House taking a look at some of the guns in their 2014 December premiere auction. And I found one in particular that just makes you think. Imagine a world where you're in Maryland, of all places, and some of the leading folks in society have set up a committee of safety, a state-sponsored committee of safety whose job is nothing short of procuring the best possible armament to arm the citizen militia. Does that sound like something that would happen today? Probably not, but it did happen back in the 1770s. A lot of the states set up what were called committees of safety, whose job was to procure arms for the local militia to fight the British. Now, most of the guns that were procured in this way were whatever was available at the time. Guns at this point were pretty much all handmade by gunsmiths. You didn't have a large company mass-producing a particular model of firearm. You had individual gunsmiths making, by hand, firearms, all of the same basic mechanism, but they'd all vary from gun to gun. So these committees of safety would go out and buy what they could, and in some cases they would contract with gunsmiths to have manufactured additional guns if there weren't enough out there available already. What makes Maryland a little bit different is they contracted to manufacture 500 Flintlock pistols, among other guns. Because they were having them manufactured, they also paid to hire an inspector to actually check and approve these guns when they were finished. And that inspector had an inspection mark that he put on the guns when he approved them. And the documentation still exists and has been found for who this inspector was and what the guns were that he was looking at and what his mark was. And it makes these guns traceable, where the vast majority of American Revolutionary firearms aren't traceable. They're simply, unless they've been in a known collection for, a couple hundred years, there are no markings, there's nothing to distinguish them. Guns at this point often didn't have serial numbers. There's no way to tell what gun might or might not have been used in the Revolution. But this one is one of those very rare examples of a gun that can be proven. So the particular inspector in question here was a gentleman named Thomas Ewing. He was hired by the Maryland Committee of Safety in 1775, and it wasn't just this particular pistol contract that he oversaw, but others as well. This particular contract, these guns were assembled a couple years later in 1777. He inspected them and he marked them as he approved them with his inspection stamp. So there are two known still to exist, number 226 and number 434. This is, of course, 434 with the iron hardware. And it's pretty cool that there is this extant documentation showing or allowing this gun to be traced all the way back to the Revolutionary War. So let's bring the camera in back here and take a closer look at the details on this very cool historical pistol. So the pistols in this order, including this one, were manufactured in a factory, or as it was called at the time, a gun manufactory, which was owned by a man named Samuel Boone. The head of the production works was a man named Peter Engel. And of course, Thomas Ewing was the inspector for the end purchaser who approved them. These were manufactured in 1776 and 77. This particular one being very late in the contract was 1777. The action is a very standard, not highly adorned flintlock action. So what you would do is load a powder charge and a ball here using your wooden ramrod. It's pretty incredible that that wooden ramrod is still around. You would then add a priming charge into the pan here. Put the hammer at half cock. You would close the pan cover. That prevents that priming charge from blowing away or falling out or getting wet. Then when you're ready to fire the gun, you would bring the hammer back to full cock. Obviously we have a flint in here. That flint is going to strike forward onto this steel plate when I pull the trigger, drop a shower of sparks into the pan as it opens it, ignites the priming charge, which ignites the main charge, which fires the ball. So there's an external spring here to put pressure on the pan cover. There's an internal spring that puts pressure on the cock. And of course I am not going to dry fire this. We're going to let the hammer down gently. As with most flintlocks, because it is only a single shot weapon, the butt of the gun is enlarged a bit and given a nice solid metal cap so that this will function as an impact weapon after you fire it, if you still need a weapon. The serial number on this is located right here, 434. The inspector's mark is right up here on the barrel. If I understand correctly, there is another copy of that 434 serial number on the underside of the barrel. I'm not going to be the one taking this gun apart to look for that, but there is a picture of it in Rock Island's catalog. Here you go, guys. This is exactly the sort of thing that was used to fight the British out of North America. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you would be interested in adding this to your own collection, you certainly have the opportunity to, because it is for sale coming up in December. If you click the link below, you will be taken to Rock Island Auction House's catalog page on this gun. You can take a look at their pictures and their description and set up an account or make some travel arrangements to come take a look at it in person and participate in the auction in December. Thanks for watching.